you're back with us, and we're going to put the P38 short nose diff together. This is the peg casing. They're absolute pig to hold in the vise, so this is upside down and inside out and around and everything else, but we've got a new head in there, new tail, both Timkin, tail sitting at the top. We'll also be fitting our new P38 prototype Superflange, and we will carry on building. We've done the pinion height and we've done the pinion preload, so we'll be putting the pinion in with the front end on. Okay, we've got the pinion in the P38 diff now, and here's prototype number 1 of our Superflange for P38, and you cannot get your finger in there, but you can turn it, which is really fantastic, because that actually goes inside the casing here and sits a little ridge down, as opposed to Land Rover's effort, which is a nasty little tin plate, which really is pretty hopeless because it sits out here and lets the dirt go straight into the seal. So we've had these machined up. There's 5-axis CNC machine, made a beautiful job, and they actually tuck themselves on the inside, and we move the seal further down, so that should actually protect the pinion bearing. So we're hoping that our new Superflange proves to be much better at keeping the mud and dirt out than the nasty little Land Rover one. So the peg diff is now turned around in the casing. We have the phosphor bronze pad, we've cleaned this all up, the pinion's been put in, and we're ready to put the centre in. Okay, we're now going to start putting the P38 prototype together. This is the centre you saw earlier in the video being machined. We didn't bother to strip it because we knew we were going to be machining it and there'd be swarf getting on the inside, and it's also not in the greatest condition. So we're going to clean all this up and refurb it. These bolts are going to get thrown away, and we'll put new 12.9 grade bolts and put new bearings on, and probably on the inside when we get it apart it'll probably need new shims. So a little bit of cleaning up time later. We've got the planet gears, drive gears, cross shaft shims, and then the actual centre tubes all cleaned up, bearings off. This is going to be reassembled and upgraded with the new heavy duty 12.9 grade bolts and new Timkin bearings on there, and then put into our prototype P38 casing number 1. And sometime later, all nicely cleaned up, all the thrusts in there, all sorted out, all ready for a couple of new bearings and putting into the P38 diff. It's amazing what ultrasonics, polishing and a good load of cleaning can do and bring something really back to really good condition, and it makes all the difference if everything is scrupulously clean when you build it and not just near enough. And I'd say that is pretty damn clean. We put the marker paint on there for no other reason that we actually know that these bolts have now been torqued up to the correct settings, whereas if there's no paint on, we're not sure if we have or we haven't. So it's just an OCD. Belt and braces. Centre's now got the cleaned original P38 crown wheel that came out of this diff going back in, and we've cleaned up the diff and put it all back together with our upgraded bolts and new thrusts and bits and bobs, new Timkin bearing each end. So we've now got the centre in, adjuster caps are in there, the higher grade bolts we put in there, there's the face tube machine down. The pad is at the moment about a good 5 mil away, so we've got plenty of clearance, and it all's going together very nicely, thank you. And we're also taking the opportunity to upgrade the bolts to a stronger 12.9 grade, and we'll be putting our special washers on, which we do on all our diffs now, which are quite incredible bits of kit and stop things coming undone. Where the blue check's concerned, it gets a little bit more complicated. I think there'll be another special tool made. We've made one already just to do the carrier caps up, but now it's a backlash time. So there we are, one short nose P38 diff, 4-pin centre with the upgraded bolts that we put in the crown wheel, the upgraded bolts we put in the carrier with the special lock washers, Timkin bearings all the way through, new thrusts, all ready to drop in and pegged as well. These will be available on the website probably from first week in March, and will be available for all standard rebuilds.